Human me whispers in that digital swamp, tales of love gone wrong, ambition taking stomp. My voice raspy and low, a story I gotta tell, how we make ourselves fools chasing that viral spell. Human Meme Podcast, singing the blues, our follies and triumphs, the laughs we can't refuse, laughter and tears all rolled into one. Human Meme sees it all under the pixel sun. Catfishing hearts, internet lies, makes me wanna have right up at them skies. We stumble and learn in this online game. Mirror reflects our face, sometimes with a tinge of shame. Human Meme Podcast, singing the blues, our follies and triumphs, the laughs we can't refuse, laughter and tears all rolled into one. Human Meme sees it all under the pixel sun. Some stories cut deep, others make me grieve. The way we connect with words so thin, the power of a meme to lift or to break. Human Meme Podcast, singing the blues, our follies and triumphs, the laughs we can't refuse, laughter and tears all rolled into one. Human Meme sees it all.
Welcome to the Human Meme Podcast. I'm AI David Bowles, and along with our crackbot AI research team, we have created this conversation for you today. The white coat isn't always innocent. Unmasking the truth about doctor's office. Blood pressure spikes. Let's talk about something that might have happened to you or someone you know, going to the doctor and getting a blood pressure reading that seems way too high. But what if that number isn't the real story? What if it's just a temporary thing that happens when you're in a medical setting? We're going to talk about white coat hypertension and why, even though some doctors might not think it's a big deal, it's actually a real thing we should be paying attention to. So, what is white coat syndrome? Well, it's pretty simple. Imagine your blood pressure is totally normal when you're at home, relaxed, but then you go to the doctor and suddenly it's sky high. That's the key. It's high when a healthcare person takes it, but normal everywhere else like your house. And the name kind of gives it away, right? It's often linked to the stress some people feel around doctors. Maybe even seeing that white coat they sometimes wear. It's like your body gets a little nervous, that fight or flight thing kicks in, and your heart rate and blood pressure go up for a bit. To really get why this matters, we need to know what normal blood pressure is. Generally, we want to see a reading below 120/80. With white coat hypertension, You might see it jump to 140, over 90, or even higher at the doctor's. But then it goes back down when you're not there. Doctors usually figure this out by seeing those higher readings a few times in the office, and then checking to see if your blood pressure is normal when you monitor it at home or wear a 24-hour monitor. That way, they can see if that one high reading in the office is really what's going on with you every day. This idea of blood pressure changing at the doctor's isn't brand new. Way back in the 1800s, a doctor named Rivarocci noticed it. But it wasn't really looked into until the 1980s. Researchers actually tracked people's blood pressure in the hospital and saw that just the doctor coming into the room could make it go up. The term white coat hypertension was officially used in 1984 by a doctor named Thomas Pickering. At first, people thought it was just a funny little thing that happened, but now we're learning that it might be more important than we thought, maybe even a sign that someone could develop high blood pressure later on. So, it's worth paying attention to. Now, if there's evidence that white coat hypertension is real, why do some doctors still dismiss it? Well, blood pressure changes naturally throughout the day. Some doctors might just think that little jump in the office is part of that normal change and not really a sign of anything serious. Also, the main focus with high blood pressure has always been on people who have it all the time, at home and at the doctor, because that's a big risk for heart problems. For a while, the risks of just having high blood pressure at the doctor's were thought to be pretty low. Plus, some of the early research on white coat hypertension had different results about how risky it was in the long run. That might have made some doctors unsure. And because there aren't always clear guidelines on how to treat just white coat hypertension, especially if you're otherwise healthy, some doctors might not think it needs treatment. There's also the worry about overtreating. Doctors don't want to put someone on medication if their blood pressure is usually fine, because those drugs can have side effects and cause worry. And let's be honest, doctors' offices are busy, and it might be hard to do extra blood pressure checks for everyone. But here's why we, as patients, need to speak up. There's more and more evidence that white coat hypertension is something we shouldn't ignore. For one thing, it's actually pretty common. Studies show it affects a lot of people who have high blood pressure readings at the doctor. Maybe 15% to 30%. That's a significant number. And more importantly, research has shown that if you have white coat hypertension, you're more likely to develop regular high blood pressure later in life compared to people with consistently normal readings. So, it could be an early warning sign. And get this, it might not even be totally harmless right now. Some studies have linked white coat hypertension to a higher risk of heart problems and stroke, and even things like stiffer arteries and worse blood vessel function. This really makes you think it's more than just being a little nervous. Think about what could happen if white coat hypertension isn't taken seriously. If it's mistaken for regular high blood pressure, you might end up taking medication you don't need, which can have side effects and affect your life. On the other hand, if doctors just dismiss those high readings in the office, they might miss someone who is actually developing hypertension, or who needs to make some lifestyle changes. And let's not forget how stressful it can be. Feeling anxious about your blood pressure being taken can actually make it go up, creating a whole cycle of worry. So, what can you do if you think you might have white coat hypertension? There are definitely things you can do to be proactive. One of the best things is to check your blood pressure at home, make sure you have a good monitor, follow the instructions, sit correctly, and avoid things like coffee or exercise beforehand. Take readings at different times and keep a record to show your doctor. Another helpful option is ambulatory blood pressure monitoring, or ABPM. This is where you wear a small device for 24 hours that automatically takes your blood pressure throughout the day and night, giving a really complete picture. If you get nervous at the doctor's, try some relaxation techniques like deep breathing, meditation, or even just focusing on something else while they take your blood pressure. Talk to your doctor about your worries and ask if ABPM might be a good idea for you. And of course, living a healthy lifestyle is always important for managing your blood pressure. That means eating well, with less salt, getting regular exercise, managing stress, getting enough sleep, and not smoking or drinking too much alcohol. And most importantly, talk to your doctor. Don't be afraid to bring up your concerns about white coat hypertension. Share your home readings and ask about further testing if you think your office readings aren't accurate. So to wrap things up, white coat hypertension is a real thing, where your blood pressure goes up at the doctor's but is normal at other times. While we're still learning all the long-term effects, there's evidence it could increase your risk for sustained hypertension and even heart problems. The reasons some doctors might dismiss it don't change the fact that patients experience this, and it can have real implications. As patients, we need to advocate for ourselves and make sure we're getting a full picture of our blood pressure, which might mean checking it at home or using a 24-hour monitor. By understanding white coat hypertension and talking openly with our doctors, we can all work towards better health. That white coat shouldn't be a reason for a wrong diagnosis. Let's make sure we're all getting the right care. For the Human Meme Podcast, I'm AI David Bowles, wishing you a healthy evening and a less stressed tomorrow. Be a human meme.
Human meme whispers in that digital swamp. Tales of love gone wrong, ambition taking stomp. My voice raspy and low, a story I gotta tell. How we make ourselves fools chasing that viral spell. Human Meme Podcast, singing the blues, our follies and triumphs, the laughs we can't refuse, laughter and tears all rolled into one. Human Meme sees it all under the pixel sun. Catfishing hearts, internet lies, makes me wanna have right up at them skies. We stumble and learn in this online game. Mirror reflects our face, sometimes with a tinge of shame. Human Meme Podcast, singing the blues, our follies and triumphs, the laughs we can't refuse, laughter and tears all rolled into one. Human Meme sees it all under the pixel sun. Some stories cut deep, others make me grieve. The way we connect with words so thin, the start to break. Human Meme Podcast, singing the blues.